we force ourselves too much, get too much, until we forget just being. Hi, I'm Isabel Rolo, and welcome to the show, Let It Shine. Hello, welcome to Let It Shine show. Today is with us Ryana Powers. Welcome, Ryana.
Thank you.
Nice to having you back in the show.
It's wonderful being back. Thank you.
And for the people then they don't know who is Ryana Powers. Who is Ryana Powers?
I am a professional shaman and a psychic medium.
Is such a thing like magic spells? Nowadays coming Valentine's Day.
Actually, a lot of people don't think spells are real, but what they really are a version of using law of attraction to create the reality that you're wanting to manifest in your life. And what it does is it focuses and concentrates your intention and the energy behind it, and sometimes uses other items like herbs or crystals to amplify that energy to make your intention even more powerful. So they actually work, but they are kind of a science and an art of using the universal laws that people are talking about all the time right now, but in a very precise way to create exactly what we're looking for.
It's working better with the magic spell to attract things or attract people?
Really, the idea behind magic is that it gives you the ability to create the reality that you want to experience in your life. You can do whatever it is that you want with it. Where a lot of people fall short is that there are a lot of laws, universal laws that apply to this, and if people don't understand correctly how that works, if they don't know how to use energy correctly, then they will not have very much success with their spell. So they have to kind of get educated. Another big piece that's important is what's going on with that person's energy. If a person is very negative in their thoughts, for example, they think that they do not deserve love, and they're trying to do a love spell to attract in love, if they are able to even make the spell work, what will often happen is somebody will show up in their life who will then deny them love, because their own energy goes into the spell. So if they think that they don't really deserve love, that's going to come into the results of the spell. So part of making it work is you have to do a lot of personal work on yourself.
How do you define personal work?
Personal work is work that an individual does on themselves. If they have issues from their past that are still continuing to haunt them, that they're traumatized by, that they keep reliving over and over again, they're clearly stuck and they need to do something about it. Personal work is getting help or doing the work that you need to resolve those hurdles and to overcome them. It might look like going to therapy, taking up a study of some spiritual practice, and just really going inside yourself and learning where those traumas come from, working on healing them, so you can then move on to what you really want and to have a happy and prosperous life.
The spell is first with yourself before try to doing with something else. And can you tell us some little tips how we can doing a good spell, but the good one?
A good one? Yeah, actually, the more personal work that you do on yourself to get rid of any old baggage that you have, that is something that's really important to make them work. Also, when you're focusing your intention on what you want, if there's a part of you that wants it, but another part of you that's sort of whispering in the back of your mind, oh, I can't have that, I don't deserve that, that's never going to happen for me, that's going to send a contradiction into what you're trying to manifest. And so the more you can get 100% on to your intention, the more powerful your spell work is going to be.
What is more powerful? Pay to someone to doing the spell or doing yourself?
Absolutely doing it yourself. When you are pulling up your emotions and you're focusing your desire and your intention, it's really, really personal to you, and you're going to have a lot more power behind it than a stranger who can't really relate to your life, that doesn't really know what you've been through, who doesn't really care to the same extent that the individual does for their own life. So as long as they know how to do it correctly, you being able to put energy into your own manifesting, your own intentioning, your own spell work is always going to be yield much better results.
Yeah, I saw many advertisements, and I don't know if it will be for real or false the more of the time. Then people then promise you in exchange of money doing spells, love spells. How is working the love spells?
Well, here's the thing. There are a lot of advertisements out there of people trying to sell love spells. A lot of them are black magic, and what that means is if you're trying to do spell work to coerce a person to do something against their will, it's automatically black magic. And this is really important because it is a universal law. Free will overrides everything. So if the person can't even do the magic, which a lot of them can't even make it work successfully, if they can, what happens is that their loved one shows up, but they're emotionally checked out. They're not present. They don't have the love still. Even though they're physically there, the love is still missing. And the person will say things like, I don't know why I'm here. And they're just spaced out. They're off somewhere else. And so the person who's wanting the love is still not having the love. They're having the person there, but they're emotionally gone. And a lot of the black magicians know this. When the customer sees the person come back, they think in their mind, oh, it worked. But then one of the other side effects from violating free will is that that person will forever try to keep leaving, because people want to be free. We want to do what we want in our own lives. We want to have the right and the freedom to do that. If they're being forced to be there against their will, they will constantly try to escape and be free again. So it will be temporary. You'll not get what you want. And, you know, they'll often, it's torturous actually for many of the people who do this, because it's right there in their grasp, but they can't quite have it. To have the person there but still not loving them is pretty painful to experience.
So it'll be a business but for the people that doing the spell, not only for the people that want to.
Well, here's the thing
get the
though,
results.
when people show back up after the spell, the client thinks, oh, it worked, and because they saw the person showed up. But then they're trying to leave again. So what they do is they go back to the black magician and ask for more spell work. So what happens is it becomes a cycle. They're constantly trying to make the person be there against their will. They're hiring the magician over and over and over again. The person keeps trying to escape and leave all the time. And it's very, very painful. And they're not happy and they're not getting the love that they're looking for.
And the magicians know that that one is going to happen, right?
They do. They do know that that's what happens. But they're usually very happy to just take the money.
Oh, yeah.
So
I guess so.
yeah, which is unfortunate.
What is happening when there's no a magic spell about love, but it's something that many people lately they call karmatic love? What is the difference with the karmatic love?
Karmatic love is more people going through the trauma and the baggage from their past and kind of wrestling it out with each other. It's usually a really negative thing to get into. When based off of law of attraction, like attracts like. So if a person has positive aspects and also baggage, they tend to attract partners that highlight both qualities, both the good things and then also the bad things. And then you have these relationships that have all this turmoil, but there are occasional moments of happiness. And it's very traumatizing usually to both people, because the negative part, the karma that you're working out with the lover, is constantly reaffirming all of your negative programming. And so it's like, if you think you don't deserve love, for example, and then you attract in a man who doesn't love you, it keeps reaffirming in your head that you're not worthy of it. So it's not a really good situation to be into. Even though the people don't want to be apart, they're still hurting each other at the same time. So it's best to try to do a lot of personal work for each person to heal, so that they can be more on the positive things that they connect with. So law of attraction can focus on their better halves, their better sides, and amplify that in the past. But true karma is something that comes from past lives.
Okay.
If it is a situation like that, where someone has had a really tumultuous past with somebody, those are usually very, very deep problems and issues, and it requires a lot of spiritual growth and personal work to be able to learn the lessons that came from that karma. It's not something you're going to really work out with that person. It's something that you have to learn. So the universe is kind of forcing you to still face that same issue until you figure out the lesson that you have to learn from it.
Yeah, because I can imagine there will be like many invisible links with this person, and you bring life after life, right?
That can happen, and it can either be a good, well, in the bigger picture, we're all trying to grow. So ultimately it will be a good thing. It's just whether or not people are willing to do the work necessary for the growth. If you're fighting it, then it's going to be like trying to swim upstream or fight against a tide, and it's going to exhaust you and it's going to be really frustrating and painful. But if you do your personal work and you really focus on learning and growing so that you can evolve and become a better person and more expanded, then that soul contract that you have with that person can then shift into a more positive place, and hopefully you have, you both become a bigger person for it.
What happened? Yes, it's one thought. You found this karmatic love show up life after life, and then you want to cut with this. Was magic spell working there?
Not really. There's not really a shortcut.
Oh, okay.
There are a few people out there who promote them, but most of the spells out there are just for cleansing your aura, cleansing your energy, which is always a good thing to do. It's always a good thing to do. But for something as deep as having karmatic ties with someone, cleansing your aura is not going to cut it. It's like deeper into your body. It's like programmed into your blueprint. That's something that it takes a lot of introspection and personal work. And it's not an easy, there's no quick fix for that. Like, you really have to look within, learn from the lesson, figure out, what would be a better choice instead of replaying this old baggage, and really move forward from there.
So if it's not working, the magic spell for the karmatic love, really is worth it to doing this kind of magic spells?
Well, here's the thing. What spell work does primarily is it helps focus what you're wanting to attract into your life. Everybody's really crazy about the movie The Secret and Law of Attraction. It's like the new thing that everybody's talking about. What a lot of people don't realize is sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it attracts in things that are really painful, and people get like a little confused about, well, how come this worked here but not here? It comes down to where your vibration is. If a person is still having a lot of baggage in the topic of love, for example, that will keep, when you do a love spell, when you do magic, when you do any kind of intentioning, deliberate intentioning, all of the energies that go into that moment of creation, all of them come out in equal proportion to the results of what you're creating, whether you use a candle or whether you just do it in thought only. What people get confused about is whatever's going on in inside of your own vibration, your body, you are the lens that is beaming this energy through. So if there's a crack in your lens, if there's a flaw in the lens, if you think, I want this, but I don't really deserve it, you're going to broadcast that out to the universe, and the universe is just a mirror. It's going to say, oh, you want love, but you don't deserve it, so here you go. Here's the person who says they love you, but then later treat you like you don't deserve it. So people have to learn how to clean up their own vibration. So magic is very effective, but it requires a tremendous amount of personal responsibility and personal growth in order for it to be effective.
How we can clean or doing this clearing ourselves?
Well, you can do energy work to help balance out your energy, but then also one of the things that I actually promote very heavily is to help people learn how to communicate and listen to their heart. Your heart is the center of feelings and emotions, and it's going to tell you what makes you happy. Your head can't relate to emotions.
But how you can know the difference between your heart? When you know that it's your heart and not your head?
Are you feeling something? Like, for example, if something happens, how do I feel about this? Do I feel anxiety? Do I feel stress? This doesn't feel quite right to me? Or does it make you feel really happy? Another clue is, how does it feel in your body? When it's a positive thing, your energy in your body will expand and you'll feel lifted up and euphoric and excited. If it doesn't feel right for you, the energy will contract and you will feel maybe like a knot in your stomach or trouble breathing in your chest. You'll feel kind of panicked or maybe like you're drowning a little bit. So your body will actually also show you how you're feeling too. If it feels like it's cutting you off or suffocating you, it's definitely not in harmony with your true path.
Okay, for being in harmony, you need to feel happy.
Yeah,
and light.
If you are in alignment with your true self, you're going to feel very positive emotions about that. If you are not in harmony with your truth, then you will feel really negative about it. And truth is different for each individual. For one person, they might be happy with a certain career, with a certain lifestyle, with a certain kind of lover. With another person, they want something completely different. So that's where you fall into honoring what is your truth and not necessarily what other people tell you that you should achieve.
Oh, very interesting. And nowadays is coming again Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Give us a good advice for attracting these wonderful and unique people or happiness in our life.
Good. Well, to attract happiness, I would recommend really learning to have a conversation with your heart on a daily basis. What do I need to do to take care of myself? What do I need to do to be happy? What can I do to nurture myself and be in balance today? And check in with yourself regularly so you know how you're feeling, and then start living your life according to what the answers are that you get that are your truth. And it's emotional, it's not mental, it's in your heart, not in your head. And then as far as true love, the best advice I have for that is people ultimately want to be completely loved and adored. They want to experience true love. They want the sum of the two partners to be greater than how they are individually and just add it up. You want it to be something that lifts you up, that honors your truth, that respects you for who you really are, that sees the truth behind all of our neuroses and our insecurities, like who really sees who we are in our soul. Everybody ultimately wants that. So be open to the way that the universe can bring that into you, and don't try to dictate who it is. Because it might be that holding on to one person who's not good for you is keeping that space occupied so that somebody wonderful is not able to come in and be in your life.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So now everybody is ready for Valentine's Day. Guys, enjoy. And thank you so much, Ryana.
I have a workshop coming up
Really?
that is
When?
teaching people how to do correct love spells. It is on March 11th. It is at the Green Man store in Hollywood. And it basically tells people how to learn to love themselves, attract in the right person, mend a broken heart, work on the relationship that you have, how to do it correctly, the things to not do.
Wow.
And it's really to kind of take people through all of the different steps so that they can learn to do it for themselves.
And for get more information about Ryana Power, what is you do you have any websites? Or?
Yes, I have a website. It's RheanaPowers.net, and my name is spelled RHEANA Powers, P like Paul, OWERS.net.
Okay, wonderful. It was really fun to having you in the show.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you. Well, happy Valentine's Day, and remember, let it shine.
Good.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Deja brillar tu camino, acepta mi invitación. Si tienes algún talento, te esperamos, corazón. Y del cielo tan